Hello and welcome to my channel. This channel is all about reading audiobooks from Erin Hunter, or similar books. The book I'll be reading today is called Alpha's Tale, and it is a super edition within the series Survivors, written by Erin Hunter. Chapter 10. The valley where he stood sloped down to a winding blue river fringed with trees and scrub. Further away the forest grew denser, with pines and firs, until it blurred into hazy lilac mountains. Maybe his pack was out there somewhere. Maybe they are, but I won't be looking for them. They abandoned him to the fierce dogs, thought Wolf. They had betrayed him, and there was no going back. I'm on my own. Better that, he thought, as he trotted down through the brush toward the valley fall, than to be back with the rancher. He was lonely, but he knew it would pass. A shudder of sadness went through his gut when he thought of Calamity, but he would try not to think of her too often. He missed Graceful, too. As he journeyed on through river and forest, he found he even missed the fierce dogs. But he could shake that off quite easily. It's just they were a pack, he thought. Not for long, but they were my pack. He hoped he'd find another. He was no undisciplined lone wolf, snatching prey where he could find it. The hunger in his stomach was more insistent than the vague sadness in his heart. In a patch of thorn scrub he sniffed out a rabbit, but when he sprang for it, it dodged and fled, zigzagging cunningly until he was forced to abandon the chase. If I'd had a pack, there would have been another wolf to flank it, block it, drive it back to me. I'll manage. The sun was lowering in the sky, and his paw pads were beginning to ache when he heard something, somewhere off to his left, a high, squeaking bark of fear. Wolf came to a halt, hackles rising, ears pricking toward it. It had been a long time since he heard the sound, but he knew a pup bark when he heard it. This one was afraid, very afraid. His brow furrowed. Another wolf pack? Where are they? For a moment he hesitated. He couldn't dash into the midst of a strange pack. They'd simply kill him. But if there were other wolves near him, he had to try, at least, to join with them. Nerves fluttered in his belly, his need worrying with weariness. His ears flickered again, and he gave a low, uncertain growl. The pup was still yelping frantically. Where's its mother wolf? What is she waiting for? The pitch of the barking rose, almost to a squeal, and Wolf couldn't repress his instinct any longer. Blood raced to his heart and his belly, and he shot forward, sprinting toward the sound of a pup in stress. Branches slapped his muzzle and thorns snagged in his fur, but he ran on, the sound growing closer and louder. He could barely see where he was going, but now he could scent the pup ahead. Its terror sharpened his nostrils. There was still no sounds or smell of grown wolves, though there was something else. Plunging through the last belt of thorn scrub, Wolf skidded to a halt. He found himself nose to nose with an enormous, glossy giant fir. Its rumbling roar made the ground shake. Wolf backed off swiftly, flattening his ears as he took in what was happening. A huge black giant fir shifted on its massive paws, giving him another roar of warning before turning back to its prey. Beneath it, trapped beneath the roots of an ancient pine, cowered a terrified dog pup. Rage drove out Wolf's fear. He lunged forward between the giant fir and the pup, backing against a tree. His legs jammed protectively over the pup, and he wrinkled his muzzle in a furious snarl. The giant fir blinked and gave its hoarse roar again, making the tree shudder. Between Wolf's paws, the pup cringed, whimpering. The giant fir went back on its hind paws, bearing sharp teeth in its small, pointed muzzle. Wolf's hackles bristled as he snarled back. Lunging forward, he snapped his fangs into its glossy black shoulder, deep enough to find flesh as well as fur. The giant fir squealed in rage, then swiped enormous pale claws at Wolf. He fell back, but attacked again straight away, nipping hard at the creature's neck. Once more he dodged back, slipping out of reach of those lashing claws. Seeming uncertain now, the giant fir growled, its beady black eyes fixed on Wolf's. A low rumble came from its throat, then it snapped its teeth again. Wolf held his ground, fangs bared to the gums. The giant fir's retreat was sudden and complete. It dropped back to all fours, then turned and shambled into the bushes. Soon its growls faded, and all Wolf could hear were the crash and snap of branches. Wolf heaved a shuddering sigh of relief. Now that it was over, he could admit to himself how rash he'd been. A giant fir was no creature for a wolf to fight, let alone a dog. He dipped his head quizzically to the pup, shivering between his forelegs. What did you do to annoy it? The pup was still shivering, but his huge eyes were bright with amazement and adoration. That was the best thing I've ever seen. Wolf growled. That was the stupidest thing you've ever seen. The giant fir could have killed us both. Where's your pack? At once the pup's face fell. Or maybe it didn't, thought Wolf. Maybe the pup's features were constantly sliding down its face. He was an odd-looking little thing, Wolf decided. His paws seemed clumsy and far too big for him, and his face was crumpled, his jaws floppy. Though his sturdy body was golden brown, his face was black, and there were folds of wrinkled skin above his little black eyes. Maybe that's all that gave him his heavy-eyed, mournful expression. Pup whimpered miserably. I haven't got a pack, he told him. What do you mean, you haven't got a pack? Wolf lifted his ears in surprise. Every dog or wolf has a pack. Except me, he reminded himself with a twinge of sadness. What about your mother dog? My mother dog got sick and died. Miserably, the pup lowered his crinkled face to its forepaws. So did my sire dog. I'm all alone. Wolf stared at him. A pup this size, left all alone in the forest, with giant furs and coyotes and mountain sharp-claws? He was doomed. What's your name? Wolf asked him. Snail. The pup raised his mournful pup eyes to his. Wolf choked on a laugh and forced his face to look solemn. I've heard some strange names lately, but Snail? I like snails, said the pup dolefully. They're tasty, and there's not much else around here. Wolf sat back on his haunches, perplexed. What are you going to do? The pup tilted his ugly, crumpled head, fixing his eyes hopefully on Wolf. I could come with you. I don't think so. Wolf shook his head. I don't have a pack either. I wouldn't be able to look after you. I've got enough trouble looking after myself at the moment. The pup wriggled and crept tighter beneath his belly, so that Wolf had to crane to look down at him. But I could look after you, he whined, nuzzling into Wolf. I'm quite fast for a pup. Even my side dog said so. We could be a pack together. I could be a lookout. I could find the prey and chase it to you, and you can kill it. Wolf peered at the little thing, dumbfounded. I don't know. The pup poked his head out from beneath him, his eyes pleading. I could find you lots of snails. Wolf whuffed with laughter, but he couldn't help it. Then he grew thoughtful again. He's a pup, and he's helpless. You can't leave him out here. Snails aren't that bad. I suppose you could come with me for a little while, he told the pup doubtfully. Just for a bit, though, and you have to do everything I tell you. No fooling around or disobeying me, and no pestering giant furs. Yay! The pup bounced out from beneath his legs, wagging his hindquarters furiously. I promise, I promise. I'll be so good. Oh, great Wolf, what have I let myself get in for? But Wolf didn't help a tingle of amusement. You'd better be. I will. Pup sat down suddenly, panting. What's your name? My name, thought Wolf. My name? He could say Wolf, the last name he'd been given, or should he say Dog? It was the name his pack had given him under the full moon, in sight of the great wolf, the name his mother wolf had told him to be proud of. A breeze stirred the foliage as the pup gazed expectantly up at him. On it he could smell the mountains, the firs, and the sagebush. I don't have to be either of those things, he realized. Both my packs are gone. Maybe it's time to choose my own identity, live as myself and for myself, find my own friends and family and respect, protect the wolves and dogs that I want to protect. Maybe I can make a pack of my own. He felt his spine stiffen with determination. Gazing into Snail's eager eyes, he drew himself up proudly and gave the pup a wolf grin. You can call me Alpha.